So, Rhythm, you would have gone through the details of the order now. Please give us a little bit of a deep dive on exactly what the order says.
Absolutely. Let's tell the viewers this is a battle that we've been fighting in the Delhi High Court for nearly 2 years. We were represented by Phoenix Legal and Malvika Trivedi in the courtroom. In the courtroom, the Times Group had argued that Nation Wants to Know is something they have patented, and this is not something that should be allowed to be used by a third party or Republic TV. Today, in a 43-page order, the court has now come out and stated that we will not be giving any interim injunction to Republic TV to be reporting on this. It's from para 60 onwards that the court gives its reasoning. They are going to be looking further into this and saying they're going to go into reasoning. The court has, however, what I feel is the most important aspect, Abhishek and Arnab, in the last line of this order said that we do believe that defendant number 2, that is Republic TV, is free to use the same as part of his speech or presentation of any news channel, etc. So this is very clearly a choice that is now given to us. We all know the phrase Nation Wants to Know had been made famous by Arnab when he had started using it in an earlier channel. Now that this phrase that is supposed to be in the public domain has now been allowed to use by us, it is clearly going to be seen as a massive victory, because something that is in the public domain can be allowed to now be used by Republic TV, also because it is something that became popular and has been widely supposed to have been linked and used by Arnab. This is also a part of the arguments that had been made by the Phoenix legal team that represented us. Let's also try and go across to Swapnil, who's also joining us now. Swapnil, this is a victory, and this is not just a legal victory, but it's a battle that was fought between very mighty forces that were trying to, at that time, crush a channel that had just started, a channel that is made of journalists, a channel that was not made of media and corporate bigwigs who were trying to scuttle and muzzle the voice of new, free, fresh journalists.
Absolutely, Rhythm. In fact, when I had come to know about this, that there was a legal case regarding Nation Wants to Know, I recall distinctly telling Arnab that, and if Arnab is hearing me, Arnab, you will recall, I told you that Nation Wants to Know is an English phrase. An English phrase can be used by anybody. Tomorrow, if Arnab Goswami were to say the name is Goswami, Arnab Goswami, the people of James Bond are going to come and sue you saying that this is a tagline only used by James Bond movies. Sorry, this is nonsense. So, the whole argument, in fact, this case should have been withdrawn by them long ago. Because, Nation Wants to Know tomorrow, even the third channel, fourth channel, fifth channel can use it. It's an English phrase. What is the problem if I use Nation Wants to Know?
No problem.
There cannot be any argument only. The whole argument is stupid. To say, it just doesn't. I mean, when as a judge also, if I were to look at it, Arnab, I would think that, this is absurd. This is like somebody telling me you stole one chocolate from my house, so you are liable for theft. So, it's as absurd as that. This should have never been argued in the first place.
Well, they argued.
That's your predecessor channel. They should be happy now. And they should, they should forget about it, saying that even you use, and let us all use it. And let 5 other channels also use it.
Yeah, absolutely. Swapnil, I remember you saying that. If you remember,
Arnab,
I think Rhythm is saying.
Arnab, I have a question for you.
Yes.
I had a question for you, Arnab.
Yes, Abhishek.
When you kind of created this phrase, what was your state of mind? Was there some thought to it? And did it really happen by design or by default? But then still, the kind of sentiments and emotions it really generates now, you get a sense of satisfaction that the court has acknowledged that it's an intellectual property open to everyone.
See, when in 2008, I remember the day when the then Information and Broadcasting Minister threatened me that we will stop the coverage that you are doing post 26/11. And I remember there were people outside India Gate in candlelight marches. And I was accused by the minister then that you're orchestrating mass protests across India. I said, no, it is the people who are questioning your geopolitical and diplomatic strategy vis-a-vis Pakistan. I was told that people do not have a right to know. I was told that I should get informed people. I said, who are informed people? They said diplomats, army officers, politicians, but not Janta. I said, but the Janta has got involved in this now. And in a new India, there will be greater share of voice of the people. I was then told, what gives you the right to know? So at that point of time, I started using the phrase Nation Wants to Know. Because I said, I am not saying it, but I arrogate every citizen of India has a right to speak up for what he or she feels is the sentiment of other citizens of India. So I said, I will use the phrase nation wants to know. And I was taunted. I remember once when there was some event in Rashtrapati Bhavan, a bunch of politicians of the then UPA government, cabinet ministers called me, said, come here. And while I was coming to their dinner table, they said, oh, the nation is here. What does the nation want to know? I think it was Praful Patel who taunted me. What does the nation want to know? So I remember the taunts only deepened my resolve to use this phrase. And believe me, it was not a thought out thing. I began to use the phrase unconsciously several times on my shows when I was pushed back by these people. So for me, it is a very emotional connect to the phrase. I was not trying to say it is my patent or my copyright or only I should use it. Swapnil can use it. If Swapnil wants to launch a channel tomorrow and call it Nation Wants to Know, he has a right to do it. But I was only fighting for my individual rights. So I felt my fight in the court was on behalf of 130 crore Indians. Even Savio tomorrow, if he wants to launch a website called Nation Wants to Know, I will not launch a campaign against him. I will say, fine, you're Christopher Columbus, you got there first, but don't stop anyone else also from doing it. That is the way we must treat our fellow citizens. What I found offensive, and I must say on record here today, though I want to restrict my observations to reproducing the court order, because as you know, I am a very loyal to the courts of this country, and I shall never exceed my brief. But I am entitled to say I was emotionally entangled with the phrase nation want to know. So when I disentangled myself from the Times group, I felt that the last thing they were wanting to snatch away from me was my emotional connect to my journalism. So for me, Abhishek, that was the emotional connect to the journalism, right or wrong. So I think today's victory in court, maybe Savio wants to come in, is more emotional than just technical for many people.
Exactly. I agree with you, Arnab. Congratulations on the victory in court.
Absolutely.
It was rather ridiculous that Times Now actually went to court over a tagline which is Nation Wants to Know, which is not even really a tagline. It is really what the nation wants. Nation wants to know. I mean, I say that so often as well when I talk on television, that nation wants to know, nation needs to know. So I don't think anybody has a right over that phrase, that statement. So I'm very happy that the court has actually, ruled in your favor, and Times Now has actually got to see yellow because of this. The point is this: every journalist has a right to use phrases which relate to the nation because they are common English phrases. Nation wants to know was your drive, even in your previous avatar, to let the people know the truth happening in India. That's the truth. So if Times Now had a problem with it, then that was Times Now problem to deal with it. Let's say tomorrow I use Nation Wants to Know, or I use that the Republic wants to know. Do you think Arnab Goswami is going to file a case against me? No.
No, not at all. It's absurd.
So what Times Now did was actually absurd, because Nation Wants to Know is a phrase. But I see it more deeper, Arnab. It's this rivalry, this media rivalry that's happening in the country. It is fine when it is competitive in nature. It gets absolutely obnoxious when they want to bring a competitive channel down only because it has grown bigger than what they had imagined.
True, but as of now, let me say this, that as a loyal servant of the court, I don't want to say more than this, Rhythm, at this stage. But I must thank Phoenix Legal, because I have always believed. When we launched the channel, one of my friends told me, "Who are your bunch of believers or not?" And the core team of the channel must be people who believe in a common purpose. And I am delighted, and I'm very happy I place on record the fact that we were fortunate to find in our legal team also, Aishwarya, believers. Phoenix Legal, Saket Shukla, Malavika are not just our lawyers, they are believers in our journalism. And that's why I must say Malavika and Phoenix fought like hell in the court, and they fought a good fight, and they have won today. Aishwarya wants to add something there. Aishwarya.
Absolutely, Arnav. We take them as our team. Phoenix Legal has fought at every point and corner. And as far as this goes, they also believe that this is something which is not against, or rather not between two channels, but between the people. It was the people's thing. When you used to say that comment that nation wants to know, it was for the people. It was issues for the people. And it was for that that this phrase came out. So as far as this goes, it has been ever since that day that the people have been coming out and saying that nation wants to know. They completely associate with you. But irrespective of that the desperation which was shown by the Times Group, our legal team has shown it in the courts very, very emphatically. But at the end of the day, it's the people. It's the people's victory, Arnav, and nothing else.